We must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. Friendship marks a life even more deeply than love. Love risks degenerating into obsession. Friendship is never anything but sharing. Without memory, there is no culture. Without memory, there would be no civilization, no society, no future. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Mankind must remember that peace is not God's gift to his creatures, peace is our gift to each other. I have not lost faith in God. I have moments of anger and protest. Sometimes have been closer to Him for that reason. No human race is superior. No religious faith is inferior. All collective judgments are wrong. Only racists make them. Indifference, to me, is the epitome of evil. Because of indifference, one dies before one actually dies. When a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. A person can almost be defined by his or her attitude toward gratitude. Just as despair can come to one only from other human beings, hope, too, can be given to one only by other human beings. Hope is like peace. It is not a gift from God. It is a gift only we can give one another. Someone who hates one group will end up hating everyone, and, ultimately, hating himself or herself. No one may speak for the dead, no one may interpret their mutilated dreams and visions. I write to understand as much as to be understood. Peace is our gift to each other. Some stories are true that never happened. Because I remember, I despair. Because I remember, I have the duty to reject despair. Once you bring life into the world, you must protect it. We must protect it by changing the world. Look, if I were alone in the world, I would have the right to choose despair, solitude and self-fulfillment. But I am not alone. Human beings should be held accountable. Leave God alone. He has enough problems. For me, every hour is grace. And I feel gratitude in my heart each time I can meet someone and look at his or her smile. When a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. In any society, fanatics who hate don't hate only me, they hate you, too. They hate everybody. A destruction, an annihilation that only man can provoke, only man can prevent. Our obligation is to give meaning to life and in doing so to overcome the passive, indifferent life. For in my tradition, as a Jew, I believe that whatever we receive we must share. Language failed me very often, but then, the substitute for me was silence, but not violence. I have to be self-conscious of what I'm trying to do with my life. I've given my life to the principle and the ideal of memory and remembrance. Religion is not man's relationship to God, it is man's relationship to man. Religion is a very personal thing for me. Religion has its good moments and its poor moments. Man, as long as he lives, is immortal. 1 minute before his death he shall be immortal. But 1 minute later, God wins. We have to go into the despair and go beyond it, by working and doing for somebody else, by using it for something else. If I were immersed in constant melancholy, I would not be who I am. I remember, May 1944. I was 15 and a half, and I was thrown into a haunted universe where the story of the human adventure seemed to swing irrevocably between horror and malediction. I do not belong to this world. I continue to write everything in longhand. If I have to see something on the internet, I ask my secretary or students. I am lucky, because I have people who do it for me. I'm a teacher and a writer. My life is words. When I see the denigration of language, it hurts me, and it's easy to denigrate a word by trivializing it. I don't know much about politics, and I don't want to know. That's why I rarely involve myself in politics. Never teach the same course twice. One always goes back to one's childhood in the beginning, and I come from a very religious family and surrounding. Very religious. Moses was the greatest legislator and the commander-in-chief of perhaps the first liberation army. I believe in superstitions. You don't talk about a child who hasn't been born. You would be amazed at the number of doors a Nobel Prize opens. I never felt any attraction towards violence. I never tried to express myself through violence. Violence is a language. The Bible is not only laws, it's also stories. It begins, "In the beginning God created heaven." If I had written these words, I wouldn't have written anything else, it's just enough. I love teaching.